Add a size chart to your product pages in just minutes with this code you can copy and paste right into your theme. In this video, I'm going to give you two ways to showcase this. One, by adding it as a static section that stays on your page, or adding a button to make this open as a modal. I'm going to show you how you can do it with a newer theme like Horizon using theme blocks and a little older themes using section blocks like Dawn. And maybe the best part is that the rows are customizable blocks in the theme editor, which means you can add and remove as many as you want. My name is Nick, and I've been doing Shopify development for years, and this is a channel about giving you these tools for free. All you've got to do is follow along this video, and you can add this feature to your store in no time. Make sure you like, subscribe, and drop a comment for what you want to see next. Let's get started. Now you'll see that I have a Dawn theme here and also a Horizon theme. So I'm going to start with the Dawn theme. I'll click the three-dot menu and go to Edit Code. And first, why don't we add the static section? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize these folders, except for the sections, and I'm going to create a section. And I'm going to call it static size chart. You can name it the file whatever you want, it doesn't matter. I'm just doing this so that I can tell very easily that this is the one that's static and doesn't open with a modal. So I'm going to go over to my GitHub and I'm going to copy all of the code. I'm going to paste that in here, and I'll just do a quick little walkthrough of what's happening here. We have our styles up here in the style sheet liquid tags. I'm not going to talk about that too much, but there's a media query that makes things look a little bit better on mobile. Then we have our actual HTML liquid here, and you can see we're outputting a few things like the title, the inches label, the centimeters label, which is customizable in the section schema, as you'll see. And then we have the actual table here. So here was the table, and we have like the column headers and stuff. And then right here, in between here, is all inserted via JavaScript. So that means we have a lot of JavaScript going on. Don't worry, you don't really have to understand how it works. But we have blocks, which is awesome because as reusable blocks, we can add and remove as many as we want. I wanted to make sure it was as customizable as I could make it for you guys. And what we're doing is we're just going through and creating some JavaScript variables that kind of have that data so that when we switch from inches to centimeters, it's very seamless. So that's what we're doing here, is waiting for these event listeners. They're kind of getting set up so that when it's clicked or whatever, it will update accordingly. And then we have our schema down here at the bottom. You'll see that I have some settings here, and then we have, most importantly, these blocks. Again, these blocks are the size rows, and this is what makes it able to add and remove as many as you want. So very important here. Now I'm just going to save this, and then I'm going to customize my theme. And I would probably go to a product page to do this. So I'll do that, and then I will also add a section here. If I scroll down to the bottom, this is size chart, non-tailwind. I can remove the tailwind part so you guys don't have to see that. That was because I first built it using Tailwind CSS. But you'll see if I save this now, it looks pretty good. I'm going to preview it so I can get a better look. All right, cool. So you can see right here at the bottom, I'm successfully able to toggle this just as I had wanted. It looks very sharp. You can see that the centimeters and stuff is actually updating. So let's check this out on mobile real quick. And you can see it looks very good. It looks sharp. So let's take a look at this customizable sections then, right? So we know it's working. You can see here's the title, here's the label, here's the, so these are all the labels, I should say. And then you're able to come in here, and these are those rows I was talking about. So you'll see here's the extra. So I should be able to add another one, right? And then it's defaults to extra small, but I could do whatever I want. And you'll see that it updates here. And then you add the measurements in inches and then also in centimeters. So this is pretty cool. Now let's talk about how we can actually add this so that it pops up as a modal. So I'm going to hide this static section for now because I don't want, I did find in testing, it doesn't work very well when I had the modal and the static one in the same page. So what we're going to do this time is I'm going to come back to my code here. I'm going to create a new file. This is going to be separate. I'm going to call this one modal size chart. And again, I'm going to go over to my GitHub. I'm going to copy and paste this code in. Okay, cool. So I'm not going to talk about everything because it's almost the exact same code. The only thing we're doing is I added these additional styles here. This is for the modal stuff to make sure it pops up correctly. And then again, almost the same thing, just a couple of divs added. And then most importantly, down here at the bottom in the JavaScript, a few more event listeners. And this is just going to make sure that we listen for the click and to open and to close that modal. So this is all great and dandy, and we can even go in and add it right now. If I go back here, I'm going to refresh. And again, I'm going to hide this. I'm going to add this new section. So if I come down, you'll see modal size chart. That's the one we want. And you won't see anything. Why? Because it only opens when the modal is opened, right? So if that doesn't make sense, don't worry, it will in a moment. But what I'll do is I'll save this, even though you're not gonna see anything, right? If I come back and refresh, the static one's gone, so how the heck do we open it? So this is gonna vary a little bit depending on your theme, but I hope this will make sense. If you are on the new Horizon theme, then you have the ability to come in to these elements right here, and you can actually, there's a menu here, and I want you to do is click on the text here, and you could actually add a block here for text. You could click into it, and you can edit the code, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But if you're probably not on the brand new theme with theme blocks supported, you're probably using section blocks here. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna find this template where all of this information is being held. Then you're gonna click here and you're gonna click edit code. Now edit code, this looks like a scary file, but don't worry. What you're gonna do is you're gonna look for this @app. So to pull up this search bar, just hit, on a Mac, it's Command F. I bet on Windows, it's probably Control F. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna look for this code right here, for block and section blocks. What this is doing is it is looping through all the blocks of this section. Don't wanna get too much into it to confuse you, but these are section blocks. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come here and right below this, underneath the render block, we're gonna change this. Okay, so what's this? Well, this is a when. So when the block is this custom text, which we're gonna add in just a moment, we have this class here called open size chart, and we're gonna make sure we display that block here. And now all we have to do, part 2 of this file editing, is go to the other place where this is referenced, and that's gonna be down here in the schema. You're gonna see these blocks, and then all you're gonna do is you're gonna come right below and you're going to, you're going to add a new block. So I'll paste this here, and you're gonna see this is pretty important. You're gonna wanna make sure you copy all of the changes in this file exactly. Type custom-text, name, you can give the name whatever you want. And then the settings here, this is important. We have text as the type, default, view sizing chart, label, open sizing chart, and ID. So all of this data needs to match exactly, as well as this. Okay, so now if I save this and I come back to my theme editor here, I should be able to refresh. And if I come right here to this product information or whatever, section has all of this data that you just edited, you can come here and click add block. And then I'm going to add a custom text button, just like this. And I'll move it up so it's like right above the variant picker. And boom, you will see right there, view sizing chart. That is the text that we want. Excellent. So now if I save this, and remember, we already have our section down here, the modal, it's just not visible. I'm gonna come back to my theme preview, gonna refresh this. And now if I click on that label, you'll see that it opens up our size chart in a modal, and it looks really good. Works just the same, but I kind of like having that option to do it as a modal. So this is how you would do this on a Dawn theme. Now let's really quickly check out how you would do this in the Horizon theme, the new theme, supporting if your theme is newer and it supports theme blocks. Very important. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back here to my admin, and I'm gonna go into this Horizon theme. I'm gonna click edit code, and the static section is gonna be exactly the same. So I'm only gonna walk through the modal on this one. If you're trying to add the static section, you can do the exact same steps as we did in Dawn. So what I'll do, however, for this is I'm gonna add the exact same section. So this will be modal size chart, and I will literally just copy and paste the code from here. Okay, so now after I save this, I can go to customize this theme. And let me try to show you why this is important. So if I go to the product page here, you're gonna see that this product information, this section, if I go to this code, you're gonna see that it's not supporting section blocks, it's actually supporting theme blocks. So if I come down here to the schema, you'll see that it's just supporting type app right now. There's no section blocks created here. So all we need to do is we need to come here, and then I'm going to do one thing here. I'm going to add a block here, and I'm gonna call it, I'm gonna make it text, and then I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna make that text whatever I want it to be. Then I'm gonna click on this 3-dot menu and then click edit code. Okay, cool, and now you're gonna see that we have this render right here. So all we need to do is we need to come here and we need to change this So the class is equal to, and it needs to be the exact same name that I gave the other section, which was open size chart. All right, so I'm going to leave that there, leave a comma. And now I'm going to refresh this. I might have to add this again real quick. All right, we can save that. And now let's try previewing this. I think I made a couple mistakes here. One thing is I needed to specify in this query selector on this type of theme block, I need to specify that I want the P element within that open size chart. And then also, I think when I must have refreshed or something, I removed this section. So I'm going to go ahead and I should be able to add it. Okay, cool. So I'm going to make sure I save this now. And now if I come back here and refresh, awesome. So I can see that this size chart does in fact work. So I'm very happy with how this turned out. I hope that this has been helpful and that you've been able to follow. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.